Hey guys and gals, hey guys and gals, hello, hello, hello. Welcome back. Welcome back. Much love for hitting that play button. Turn that up, you beautiful, intelligent people. You know I love it. You know I do. Here to learn, here to grow. Here's the goal. The goal is 120 IQ. That's the goal. Okay? All right. Better, faster, wiser, stronger. And definitely not part of the 50 percentile club. Not you guys. All right. Well, I'm hoping you understand what I mean by that. Okay, turn it up. Let's get some work done. Okay, we're gonna continue. Get right to it because I don't know, just like everything, time flies when you're having fun. Where does the time go? I'm just having fun. Turn it up. Okay, so we're going to do this quickly, okay? I left you guys and gals with this. So we'll just do the work quickly, all right? So, again, 100 is the magic number when we're working with percentages, right? So we're taking a decimal and basically turning it into a percentage or a whole number, okay? 100 has 2 zeros, therefore we're doing 2 decimal jump hopscotch. That's just what I'm calling it. Leapfrog, whatever. That's what we're doing. Okay, it's a lot easier, a lot simpler. And that's all you really need to do is go, okay, I have 2 zeros. If you have 4 zeros, you're going to be doing 4 jumps. Okay? That's all I'm going to say. Okay, so we're multiplying this by 100, which means we're moving the decimal forward. When you multiply, I guess this is kind of the tip. When you're multiplying, you're moving the decimal forward 2 jumps. Okay? But when you're dividing by 100, you're moving the decimal to the left, right? It's kind of like the minus plus thing, right? Whenever you have a minus, again, divide is with minus. When you're, if you're multiplying, it's plus, okay? Plussing. To the right is plus. To the right is plus, to the left is minus, right? I'm just kind of help you get that analogy in your mind. Again, you can draw this quickly. If you have an exam or whatever, just write these notes down really quick, right? Whenever you multiply, it's adding. Whenever you're dividing, it's subtracting. Integers, left is negative, right is positive, okay? Integer values increase, right? Positively to the right. They also increase going in the negative direction. Okay. Just to clarify what I mean, as you can see, we're going to the right. Now think of it as like just the value, the numeric value, without thinking of the sign, right? All you need to remember is that from 0, 0 center, positive is right, from 0, 0 center, negative is left, okay? But without thinking of the sign, you can see that all values increase, okay? Going to the right, all values increase going to the left, okay? That's the pattern. Little things you just got to remember, that's all. Again, when you're working with algebra, you're just going to smash it, right? Again, I'm helping you guys get to that 120 IQ, okay? Better marks than your peers, okay? Because you're going to have better marks because you know they're lazy, right? They're the resistors. I don't like it. I don't want to do it. What? Is that talk? All right. Not you guys, okay? You guys are awesome in my books, all right? Because you're here to learn. And I love it. I love it. So you're good. You're golden. Don't worry. You're golden. You're good. You are good. Trust. Okay, so which is larger, right? So I'm just going to kind of remove all this. Okay, and we're going to convert these to, whole number. So basically, we're going to be multiplying by 100, which means we're going to be doing 2 decimal jumps to the right. 1, 2, okay? So this is going to equal 7%. Okay, that's a whole number, right? Same thing with this one. I didn't give myself room, but I'll try to fit it in here. Again, it's the same thing. 2 jumps to the right, 1, 2, which equals 76%. Okay, so which is larger, right? Without even having the percentages, which you don't really need to write, if you look at it just as a whole number, you can see that 76 is greater than 7. Waka 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 waka. Okay? Awesome sauce. let's do this. So now we're gonna set, it's saying solve for G. Okay. All right. Okay, it's not too bad, guys. It's not too bad. Okay. So the first thing you want, let's look at this. Let's look at this kind of in the big picture. We're gonna kind of just simplify it here. Okay. All right. I just wanted to show this, right? All variables still have a value, and that value is 1. Even though we don't write 1, it's imaginary 1. Might as well get used to that too, right? That thought. Imaginary 1. Okay, so with that said, that means, okay, when you look at this, this negative belongs to this, but it doesn't matter if it's a whole number. It doesn't matter if it's a decimal. It doesn't matter if it's a variable. This negative is owned by whatever's to the right of it. Okay, and of course this is a positive and this is a positive, but we don't write that. Okay, it's inferred. It's imaginary plus, imaginary positive. Okay, so the goal here is to, we want, let's see. Okay, I'm going to show it. Okay. We want our variable G to be positive. Okay. Now, here's the other key thing to remember. To change the sign from negative to positive, we actually have to move it to the other side of the equal sign. Remember? Math is a balancing act or a balancing game. Okay, just like I said. Okay, teeter-totter analogy. Right? If it's negative here, it has to be positive here. Okay? Right? Negative, positive. Positive, negative. Okay, it's a balancing act. Okay? You follow that? So when you change stuff from one side to the other, the equal sign is kind of like the dividing line. It's the middle. Okay, it's the fence. This is neighbor 1, this is neighbor 2. That's kind of the way I look at it. Right? So now I'm kind of just taking my time explaining it so that you guys fully understand, right? If you have a good understanding right from the get-go, you're going to smash algebra like it's nothing. Okay? Algebra is also key if you are here I'm just letting you know, if you plan on going to university or college or whatever you decide, again, the instructor better be teaching what they're supposed to be teaching. You have the right to demand that. Okay? Okay? And people that agree with you should be standing right beside you, backing you up. That's what real people would do. Okay? It's about learning. Again, it's your money. You're paying the loans. You have the right to be taught what you're supposed to be taught, whatever that course is. Okay? Just throwing it out there. Even myself, like, I'm here teaching mathematics. That's what I should be sticking to. Okay? That even applies to me. Okay? So, all right, let's get back on track. I don't know where I was going with that, but I just thought I'd throw it out there. If you're planning on going to college, right, or university, that I just remembered what it is. If you can get awesome at algebra, you're going to smash calculus. Okay? And trust, when you get to college, I know, for me, I don't know what every school is like, but man, I want the definition here too. Calculus, branch of mathematics concerned with the calculation of instantaneous rates of change. Differential calculus, this is kind of what you begin with, is derivatives, delta t or delta t over delta t kind of stuff. I don't want to get into that because I don't want to scare you guys off. You'll understand when you get there. Once you advance in mathematics, like extra variables, delta just means change. It's a difference between one number and another number. That's really all it means. A change between values. It's really not that complicated. So delta d over delta t. You'll see that kind of stuff, okay? Don't let it scare you. You also see f of x, right? You'll see f of x kind of stuff, or f of y. Don't let that scare you, okay? It's no, you're just writing more characters. That's all you're doing. Hang on, let me go like this. Just so you're not scared right from the beginning, okay? Really what you see here, like, it's no different than me just writing x and y, okay, for my variables. X equals 1 minus 2y or something, right? Really, it's it's just extra characters. Okay, that's all it is. There is more meaning behind it, but that I'm not going to get into now. Okay, but that's all it is. Just think it's a function of x. Okay, anyways, I'm going to stop there. Right now, you're kind of getting an idea, like, if you see this kind of stuff, you're not going to be scared. Okay? Okay? Don't let it fear you. It's just written stuff. That's all it is. Stuff that's written. Okay. Back on track. Okay, so I've been saying to you guys, right, that I always typically put G on the left side, and I do. That's true. I prefer my variable be on the left side, and when I'm solving problems, I want it to be on the right side, or whatever it is. It could be 2x plus 1. It could be anything, right? Okay? So, with that said, we are going to arrange this. We're going to arrange this, okay? But I'll show you we have to do a little extra step is all. That's all we have to do. Okay, so we need to move the 3. Let's do that first, okay? We need the numerical value with this numerical value, okay? The rules still apply, okay? Now, make sure that negative, we're still on the left side of the equal sign. Okay, again, this is a -1 times g. Okay, so this negative still belongs to the g. The 15 is unchanged. It's still on the right side of the equal sign. You can see it right here. Just think of this as the fence, right? We're jumping over the fence. Okay, kind of thing. Or the equal sign is the teeter-totter. It's the pivot point. Okay? The equal sign is the pivot point. Okay? It's a balance. Again, mathematics is a balancing game. It really is. So we have to take the 3 over. The 3 is positive, right? I know I'm not doing this fast, but I want you guys to have a solid grasp of this so that when you start doing algebra, you're just going to smash it like nothing. This is an easy one, trust me. So, minus g's on this side. We're on the left side of the equal sign still. We haven't moved g. G's still there. We haven't moved 15. 15 is still on the right of the equal sign. But we're moving the 3 over, okay, to the right side of the equal sign. Okay? So when we do that, we're changing. You probably already know the answer. What's our sign? It's going to be a negative. Again, that sign, that negative, belongs to the 3. It changed from a positive to a negative. Okay? So we could do the work, right? Now we have two. We have a positive number and a negative number. I say just leave it like this for now. Okay? We do have to get rid of this negative. We have to make G positive. But we'll worry about it after. Okay? Let's do the math here for this. 15, remember? So 15 is right here. It's in the positive side. It's to the right of 0. 0 center. 15 is here. Okay? So we're doing 3 jumps. Okay? Now if you have your scrap piece of paper, you should have this written down. You can put a 0 if you want. Okay? There you go. So now you'll know which way. Okay? So we're here. We're 15. It's negative. We got to go left. We got to go left when it's negative. Okay? So that means from 15, 3 jumps to the left. 1, 2, 3. 15, 1, 2, 3. Positive 12. Okay? Again, we've only done 3 jumps. From 15, you need 15 negative jumps just to get to 0. Okay? We only did 3 jumps. We're still in the positive zone, right? Okay, think of it like the football, right? You need so many yards to get across the center. You could actually look at a football field just like that. Same analogy. Okay? All right. So that puts us at, so writing it out, we're still positive 12. So we have a negative G equals 12. But we need to get rid of this negative. Now there's 2 ways to do it. It's really easy. There's one way you could do it, just like anything, just like when we're like dividing, we want to make something 1. Well, I don't want to, actually that's not the greatest analogy, but it's kind of like that. So what we could do is we could divide both sides by negative 1. That'll cancel this and this negative 1. But now 12 becomes negative. Okay, so this sign actually could go up here. Okay, right? So that's one way of doing it. Just divide by negative 1 on both sides. Or you could do it the easy way and go like this. It's another way of looking at it. You could take this negative G, move it to here. So now G is on this side. Take the 12, move it to this side. You could do that. You're allowed to. So the 12 is positive. Once it crosses this line, it becomes a negative. So 12 is negative on this side. Okay, so I'm going to write it out here so you can actually see it, right? You got this, right? You totally understand what just happened? Now, it doesn't really matter if G's on this side. Well, it does according to the sign. But I can still rewrite this. Like, let's say your particular, because we've already organized it, okay? So we know G is equal to negative 12, right? We took negative G, put it to here, it becomes positive. We take the positive 12, go over to this side, it becomes negative. We can still write it as G equals negative 12. It still means the exact same thing. It doesn't matter. Like, I'm not really moving it back. I'm just reorganizing it. the way I've written it. That's all. So this is just a reorganizing of my writing because, well, I want G to be on the left side. That's all that is. Okay? That's the difference. Okay? Or you can just leave it like this. I mean, it doesn't matter. It's still the same thing. You shouldn't get a wrong answer. But I know myself, I like the variable to be on the left side. It's just, that's what I like. And it's what I'm used to. But that's it. All I did was just reposition. I didn't swap. I just reposition. Okay, that's the only difference. We still already have the answer. You're allowed to reorganize the way you've written it. It still means the exact same thing. Okay? Drop the A's. All right, let me check the answer. I'm not capping. I haven't checked. I haven't looked. All right, what do they have? Well, they wrote -12. Okay? So that still is a yays. But now if you're to show your work, this is what you would show. You would show G equals -12. Okay? Their answer, they just wrote -12. It's still correct. They're saying solve for G. While we're showing our work, G is equal to -12. Okay, guys? With what I just explained to you, again, be consistent. Okay? Be consistent, guys. Can I still undo all that? I think so. Let's see how far I can go here. Okay? You have to be consistent, right? Once you understand the basic philosophy and rules of mathematics, just keep reapplying the same thing. Mathematics is a lot of repetition. Again, it's a balancing game, and it's a pattern and sequence of numbers. It really is. Okay? All right, you guys are awesome. Okay, let's do angles again. All right, so remember, okay? Get used to seeing this because you'll be learning graphing and such. Again, this is slope, right? Slope is really just, I could do an imaginary line here. I'm trying to draw a half decent line here. Okay, let's say my triangle's right here. Okay, I could draw a line. I have a line that rotates. Again, it always rotates counterclockwise. Okay, I could draw an imaginary right triangle. Get familiar with this. Again, this would be the hypotenuse. We'll get into that. We're going to do some right triangle stuff. I love linear equations, slopes, slope formula, right triangles, Pythagoras theorem, sine, cosine, tangent. There's so much involved with right triangles. It's awesome and insane at the same time. Okay. Whoops. So there we go. Okay, so you know this is positive and this is positive. Okay? That's all you really need to know. What's the opposite of positive? Negative. What's the opposite of positive? Negative. Whoops, I wrote that wrong. Okay? Okay, so they have is an angle with a measurement of 86 degrees acute, right, obtuse, straight, or reflex. Okay, so first things first. That's 90 degrees. That's 90 degrees. This is 0. Okay? This is 90. Right? You should know you've heard of the term, if you're a skater or whatever and you do tricks, 180s, cans, just kidding, right? You've heard of the term do a 180. It's half a circle, right? 180 plus another. Okay, this is negative x, right? Negative y. Okay. This is 270. Okay. And again, a circle is 360 degrees, right? A lot of little things to remember, but again, if you have a scrap piece of paper, you can quickly write this out on your scrap paper for your exam. Okay, I would just smash it out in, like, I don't know, 3 minutes or something. Maybe it depends on how much information you need, but and then you can refer to it quickly. Okay, so I'm just gonna erase this. I guess I could have left it, whatever. I just didn't want to confuse my lines. So they say 86 degrees, okay? So we know this is 90 degrees. Obviously 86 is less than 90, right? Okay, so that means we start from here and we go up. We rotate counterclockwise. Okay, we haven't quite made it to 90. So I'm gonna guess, I'm just gonna guess, it's gonna be something like that. There's our line. Okay, so without all this extra stuff, I'm just gonna go like this and like that. Okay, we don't have to show the whole triangle. All we need is a ground line and the actual angle. Okay, so I'm gonna go theta, and theta equals 86 degrees. Okay, we could close off the triangle. We could, right? Whoops. You gotta connect the lines, right? Okay. But in this case, I'm just gonna go like that. We don't need the full picture. Now let me show you an image quickly. I know I'm just gonna consistently share it and show it. Let me find it here. Here we go. Okay. So with that image shown, right, we can see it, right? Again, I'll just go like that. There's our triangle. I didn't draw it. I didn't connect the lines perfectly, but there's our triangle. Okay. So the question is an angle with a measurement of 86 degrees, is it an acute triangle? Is it a right triangle? Is it an obtuse triangle? Is it a straight triangle? Or is it a reflex triangle? Okay, right off the get-go, I would the smartest thing to do is just cross off any answers that you know are wrong. Okay, we know it's not a right angle. We know this, right? Okay, automatically, we know this. 90 degrees is a right angle. Okay, okay, so it's not a right angle. Okay, we can cross that out. Is it an acute? Aha, ooh, quite possible, quite possible. Well, we get a finish, right? Is it an obtuse? Obtuse, is that the same as oblique? I think so. What is an obtuse? Okay. An obtuse angle is an angle that measures greater than 90 degrees, but less than 180. Okay. So basically, it's saying it's in this quadrant. Again, this is quadrant 1, quadrant 2, quadrant 3. Get used to this because this you'll see as well. This is quadrant 4. Again, counterclockwise. Remember, guys. Okay. So an obtuse is in this quadrant. So basically an obtuse is greater than 90. So, you know, but it's not greater than 180. There's 180 right there. 180 is a flat line. Okay. And that, if I recall, is also called a straight. Okay. So an obtuse angle, right? Obtuse. Greater than 90. Whoops. Right, greater than 90. Obtuse. Okay. It's larger than a right angle, obviously, and it's smaller than a straight. So there's the answer right there. A straight one is 180. So that's all you have to remember. When you hear straight, just think 180. It went boof. There it is. It's right there. Okay. So, getting too many tabs up here. All right, I gotta get rid of the calculus one. Okay. Reflex. Now, if I recall, reflex is in this quadrant. Okay, so we'll search it quickly. I want you guys to have the correct information. Again, I can search for this quickly. A reflex angle is an angle that measures more than 180. Okay, so it's more than 180. It's in this quadrant. Okay, but it's less than 360 degrees. Okay, so there isn't one for this one. So a reflex is either in this quadrant or it's in this quadrant. Okay, so reflex, I guess. Reflex is in here or it's in here. Okay, it's in this quadrant 3 or quadrant 4. Okay, anyways, our answer is, because we've already kind of answered it, right? It's 86 degrees. So if we look at our diagram, we can see that's the line right there. Okay, this is just an extra line connecting we're just connecting the points. Okay, but anyways, it's an acute angle. All right, acute, because it's beautiful and handsome. Therefore, it's an acute. I always take advantage of that, smash some coffee. All right, what do we have for time? How are we doing? Again, time flies when we're having fun. Not too bad, but I gotta kind of speed things up here. All right, let's clean up the whiteboard. And awesome. Okay, you guys are doing great. Again, okay? Look at yourself in the mirror and go, I am part of the 120 and above club. I am part of the 120 and above club. I am part and above the 120 and above club. I am part of the 120 and above club. I am part. Okay? I am smart. I am beautiful. Because You are a cute angle. I'm just throwing in extra jokes. That's it. Okay, that's the goal. Okay, where are we now? Okay, here we go. So again, I'm showing you guys the whole work, right? And explaining it. Okay. Complete the pattern. Okay, it says complete. I don't know why I'm writing it. The pattern. Okay, complete the pattern. Okay, what's the pattern? All right, so we have a positive number, we have a positive number, we have a negative number. So looking at this is our starting point, right? Okay, just think of it logically. We're starting at 4. 4 is a positive number. And then we're going to 1. 1 is less than 4. So that means we're decreasing. And then looking at 1, and then we're going to -2. So if we look at our integer grid, again, you could probably smash one of these out too for your exam. You kind of have to be quick about it. I wouldn't use a ruler and spend a lot of time, you know, especially if you're in the middle of an exam. So we're at 4, and then we end up at 1, and then we end up at -2. So we're at 4, we end up at 1, and then we end up at -2. Okay, so we're going backwards, essentially. Okay, or decreasing, if you will, because technically speaking, we still are decreasing, guys. That's why I'm trying to explain to you. Like, ignoring the sign, just look at the numerical value. It's 26, right? Just ignore the sign. This is called the sign. Okay, we're still increasing, but we're increasing in the negative. But you have to be aware of this. Any number to the left of 0 is still less. Okay, so -26 is still -26 is still less than 0, guys. Okay, so be aware of that. It's the sign. Okay, I'll make sure I explain that again so it's stored in the old memory banks. Okay, so let's do this then. Okay, we like jumps. Let's figure this out. So from 4 to 3 is how many jumps? 4, 3, 2, 1. So I don't know. I'll just go like this. From 4, 3, 2, 1. That's 3 jumps. From 1 to -2. If we're not sure, we could go like this. 1 jump to 0, 1, 2 jumps. So that's 1, 2, 3 jumps. Oh, that's still 3 jumps. So from 1 to -2 is 3 jumps. There's the pattern. Okay? So let's continue. 3 jumps to get our next answer. We're at -2. Remember, we're going backwards. God, it's driving me crazy doing that. Okay? 3 jumps from -2. Okay? 1, 2, 3. Puts us at -5. So there we go. There's our answer there. Same thing. 1, 2, 3. 3 jumps. From -5. One, 2, 3 jumps. -8. Right, the numbers still work out, right? Because we know that 5 plus 3 is 8, right? We're just going in a different direction. It's just a direction, guys. That's all it is. Okay? The direction means we're going left. Okay? It's the same thing with with Unity, guys. When I'm like for code and stuff, I don't want to talk about or get into talking about coding too much. But when you work with a character and such, like gaming is math. Math is direction. And a lot of the direction, like your code and that, is based on whether the velocity or the direction is negative or positive. I'm just going to let you know that. Okay, it's not all magical. So I have this theory, like, I don't know, a lot of people probably aren't going to like it, but you shouldn't be allowed to play any video games unless you know how to do math, okay? Math is video games. Sorry to say. Okay? I don't know, it's kind of like the driver's license thing. You're not allowed to drive a vehicle unless, take the test, right? You have to be good at it. Okay. That's enough of that. Okay, I know it doesn't sound fair or whatever, but it should be that way. Why should you be allowed to play if you're slacking on your math homework? Okay. Hilarious. So that's the answer, -5, -8. Okay, guys? Alright, we're going to do one more quickly. Because, yeah, we're getting there up in time again. Okay? Alright. Bernard works 30 hours. Okay? I'll just write some information down. And we'll just try to get a big picture in our head. I mean, I guess you could think of this stuff in your head too. But... Alright, let's go. So he works 30 hours at a rate of 25 per hour. Okay, so he's making decent money. That's pretty good. That's livable, especially with the expenses nowadays. You could comfortably live on your own. Pay a mortgage. With $25 an hour. Now, again, if you want to own that house, you gotta put in the time. You gotta grind. You gotta figure ways to keep you motivated. Right? It's tough to do. It is. Okay? Don't let anybody take your hard work away from you either. Okay? You're paying the mortgage, your house. Don't let somebody else have it for free. Okay, 30 hours at a rate of $25 per hour. What is his gross pay? Okay, gross pay is basically, I'll search it, but it's before taxes. Okay. Gross pay is the total amount of money an employee earns before any taxes, benefits, or other deductions are withheld from their paycheck, right? Because the government has their hand out. And I'm not anti-government. I mean, it helps the people. I mean, there's roads to fix. There's, lots of things. There's a lot of good positive things, but they also need to spend the money wisely and appropriately. That's what they need to do. People are working hard for that money, okay? It's not just like, here you go, here's some free money for you to do whatever you want. Like, Like, unbelievable. People work, man. I don't know. Okay, I'm going to stop. Okay, let's continue. Okay. So 30 hours, what is his gross pay? All right, that's what we're figuring out. So basically, it's going to be, we'll do the long math. 30 times, holy snapper-rapples. I feel like when I'm writing here, sometimes it lags. I don't know, it's weird. Okay. Maybe I should have went a little higher here. We're gonna need some room. Okay, I could use a calculator, but again, we're the 120 and above club. Okay, 5 times 0. If I don't give you any money, or if I pretend to give you money, if I pretend to give you $5 and I don't actually give you the $5, you still have $0. 5 times 3 is 15. There's nothing to add that to. Now we're in the ones, tens place. We need a place filler. Okay, that's what that 0 does. It's a place filler. 2 times 0, again, same analogy. I almost wrote 2, 0. Okay, 3 times 2 is 6. Now, again, like I said, when you're multiplying, it's addition. 0, 5, 7. There you go. So, and now that's finances, right? So, right, it's hours times how much he makes. So, there you go. That's 30 hours. What is it? Normal hours are 40 hours a week. Regular, I don't know, depends on where you live, I guess. But 40 hours is regular here. Anything above is overtime. Okay. Again, there's some good things going on in the States. You guys are so lucky. Overtime is going to be like all win-win, chicken dinner money. Nice. That's so awesome. Man, you guys are blessed. You truly are. I concede. Come take over. I want to join. Okay, I'm going to leave it at that. So that was pretty quick. Okay, that's the answer. $750. Let's do a couple more quickly. Okay, Marcel's annual salary. Annual means 365, right? Yearly. Annual. What is let's see. I'll just give you a proper definition. Definition of annual. Okay? Occurring once every year. Okay? Occurring once every year. Okay? His annual salary is $72,000. That's pretty decent money too. Okay? Now I don't care what anybody says. If you're like, well, not all of us are hoity-toities. Okay? Pompuses. Okay? So, we're stronger too. Have strength. Okay, anyways, enough of that. So 72,000. That's not bad. Really, it's not bad at all. What is his monthly salary? Okay, how much does he make a month? Well, annual's 365. We know that there's 12 months in a year. Okay, there's 12 months per year. This is common knowledge stuff, right? So I guess I mean, I could do the long math, guys. This would be the long math. The easiest math would be to go just do the 72, right? So, but then you have to kind of go, okay, 12 and 24. 24 plus 12 is 36. 36 plus 12 is 48. 48 plus 12 is 60. This is going to be times 2. This is going to be times 3. This is going to be times 4. This is going to be times 5. Times 6 is 72. There we go. So there's our answer. 12 times 6 is 72. Okay, but we can't forget our zeros, right? You don't need to put the zeros there. I'm showing you guys, okay? You can ignore decimals. You can ignore zeros. Numbers are patterns, okay? It doesn't matter if I had 24 zeros. You're still going to end up with a 6, okay? All right, so there we go. Without having to do all the extra long division, we got 6. So basically, I take that 6, bring those zeros over. 1, 2, 3. There we go. That was pretty quick, wasn't it? Oh, and it is money. So, boom. The question was, what is his monthly salary? Okay, $6,000 a month. Woo! This, I'm telling you, this. Okay, and that's before taxes too, right? So, I mean, let's say, I don't know, what is it, 0.7 times 6,000? 4,200 divided by 2, that's 2,100 per 2 weeks take home. Whoops. It's decent, especially if you're a bachelor, okay? All right? If you're a dude, wait for the right one. I'm telling you, okay? Wait for the right one. Don't be in a rush. Okay, Erica earns a salary of $1,500 per week. Okay, Erica. Assume it's a girl. $1,500 per week. Okay, all right. What is her annual salary? Okay, annual again. Per week. We're in weeks now, right? So this kind of changes the game a little bit. Okay, annual was, what did it say, once a year, right? Occurring once every year. Once every year. So we know that a year is 365 days. Okay, but what we need to know is, because we have weeks, okay? So how many weeks are, okay, you can't think of it this way, right? We do know, okay, let me show you what you shouldn't be thinking. Okay, we know there's 12 months to a year, right? And we cannot assume, because this is not a good idea to assume this, right? For the most part, 1 month is 4 weeks, right? Whoops. Okay, but that's not entirely accurate. Because some months are actually, does it work up to 5 weeks? I don't know. So, but we need to know the actual, how many weeks in a year, okay? You might want to remember this, right? So, how many weeks in a year? Okay? So, the true answer is 1 calendar year, I always like say R because that way I know it's not an year is equal to, it's a little bit more, but here's the accuracy. How did they get that number? I don't know. Okay, that's the realistic number, but we're just going with 52. Okay. Okay, so if you do the math, right, 12 months times 4, that doesn't work out, right? You get 48 weeks. That's short. That's not what you want to use. You want to use 52. Okay? Be certain, right? Don't assume. There's an old saying. If you assume, what does assume begin with? Hee-haw! Hee-haw! Okay? It's not quite the saying, but you get the idea. Okay? Alright, so what's our question? Erica earns a salary of $1,500 per week. What is their annual salary? So we gotta increase our number. So 52 weeks in a year, right? Okay. 52 weeks in a year. So we got to multiply this by 52. So let's see if we could do this by dropping the zeros. For now, we'll just drop the zeros. Are we going to get the same number? We'll see. We have 2 zeros here. 5 times 2 is 10. Carry the 1. 5 times 5 is 25. Plus 1 is 26. Okay, we're in the tens place now. Place filler. 2 times 1, 2. This is already gone. We used it. 5 times 1, 5. Whatever, good enough. Okay, when you multiply, you add. Okay, 0 plus 0 is 0. 6 and 2 is 8. 5 and 2 is 7. 780. Okay, we can't lose that 0. That 0 matters. So we're going to go 780. Bring these zeros over to here. There we go. 78,000. Okay. I showed you the easiest way to do this without having to, like you could still multiply this way, but of course you're going to end up with, lots of zeros, right? This 0 matters, and these 2 zeros matter. So, there we go. Again, you should have a logical answer in your head that it should be around in the thousands, right? Tens of thousands. Okay? That's it. We're going to stop there. Getting a little long. Again, I wanted these to be half an hour, 45 minutes. I mean, they seem to be taking a little bit longer. I do apologize, but if you're still watching and learning and listening, you are super awesome. Again, stay focused on your goal. 120 Club. Okay, guys? Be part of the 120 Club. All right, that is it. Johnny with Whiskey Tango Sharp. I appreciate y'all. Keep being awesome. And I'll check you guys and gals out in the next video. Be good to your parents, students, and the like, you guys, to support you 110% in your mathematics journey. Let's go! Check you guys out later. Peace!